Welcome to the Cheer Chronicles podcast with Rosie.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Cheer Chronicles podcast. It has been a minute because the last podcast was the one that we recorded when we went to Texas. I'm here with the Bay Door Baddies. I'm here with Trisha and Jamie, and we are again back at it for another season here at the Bay Doors. It is raining, we're in our car. We're not doing a video this time around because I gotta be honest, I look atrocious and I forgot to comb my hair. Okay, so we're gonna talk about what to expect as a new parent in cheerleading. And I know for myself, I have kids in all-star cheer and then also kids in school cheer, sideline cheer, competitive cheer for school. So we're gonna go over some things of what to expect for the summer. Are we ready?
Ready.
Okay, so first things first is the calendar, the practices, the stunt camps, the choreos. These are things that you have to stay on top of. My biggest peeve as a coach and as a mom is people who don't show up all summer and then wonder why my kid is struggling come the fall or come choreo. Why is she not doing well? Why is so-and-so this? Or because you weren't here all summer. And this is a time to put in the work. At least that's my opinion. What do you guys think?
I agree. Same. You can't complain if your kid's in the back if you're not putting in the work.
You can't complain. It's also a perfect time to get in your private lessons. So for me, during the regular season, once comps start, that's difficult for me. And also the coaches are busy. There's extra practices. We're traveling a lot. So during the summer is when I put in the extra work, or at least my kids do. I do as well because I bring them here and then I pay extra. But so yeah, this is the time to do it. And also, teams aren't finalized.
Correct. Right.
Stunt groups aren't finalized. That goes, usually for school cheer, teams are finalized, but stunt groups aren't finalized. And so it's important to keep up with the skills because you never know. You never know what comes during choreography, if someone's going to be moved up or down, because that can happen if you are not keeping up as an athlete, which is a lot of, I have to say, like a lot of pressure on them.
Yes.
And they're all aware of it too.
Yes.
Most teams, most athletes are aware that, hey, there might be someone on this team moved either up or, down. Usually we're just worried about moving down. And so it's scary. Mm-hmm. What do you tell your kids? I know my kids freaked out.
Mine didn't even tell me.
She didn't tell you? No?
I found out from another parent.
Maybe because she deals with it that way.
Yeah, because she feels that I'll put more pressure on her.
Oh. So. More pressure for sure. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
If you want to keep your spot, you got to work for your spot.
100.
It was the first thing she said when she got into the car that night.
Yeah.
The coaches said, somebody's got to go.
Somebody's got to go.
We don't know who.
We don't know.
But it's somebody.
So we have to wait and see. But in the meantime, the most important thing is for your child to put in the time and effort, put in the work, and keep it going, keep it moving. Every practice, you got to show up and show out. So I know that's hard even when we're not feeling well or we don't have the energy. You need to come and show up and show out so that, you're able to keep your spot. That's the reality of things.
Well, and I tell my kid that part of showing up and showing out is taking critiques. Mm-hmm. And so listening to your coaches and having a positive attitude when you come. Yeah. So if you think you're going to get cut and you show up thinking you're going to get cut, then you act like it and you will be the one that gets cut.
Yeah.
But if you show your hard work, you take critique, you take criticism, and you fix those corrections, or you take them to heart and you make corrections, then to me, that's a positive.
Yeah, mine has always remained coachable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In every aspect. Whether it be when you walk in, just remember you're always being watched. Private, you're being watched. Open gym, you're being watched. Remain coachable at all times, not just when you're in the practice. Anytime you enter anywhere where the gym is present, you're being watched, and be coachable at all times.
I mean, I'm clearly not a coach, but if I was, I would rather a lower skill athlete that's coachable than an uncoachable higher level.
100%. Yeah, you just took the words out of my mouth, because I rather coach someone who's willing to put in the work, the extra time, do it with a positive attitude, than have someone who's a level 6 athlete and rolling their eyes at me the entire practice. Like, I'm good. No, thank you. We don't want it. So another thing that we want to talk about is financial expectations over the summer. And this is more obviously just for us parents, because most of the athletes don't really worry about it. And I hope that no athlete really has to worry about it like we do. But when I tell you that this is expensive, it is like all year round expensive. And one of the things that we're lucky to have here at our facility in our gym is that we have an organization that helps us with fundraising here at the gym. Shout out to Marissa and ASAF.
Yes.
Because I don't know if I'd make it without them. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't think any of us would make it.
I don't know if I can make it without them. And honestly, I just texted a friend of mine today during my lunch hour, and I was like, how do these parents get sponsorships? Like, I literally asked people, or you know, we might stop by a business. I had the girls do them one year where they put on their t-shirts for the gym, and we went out to some local businesses. We went to an ice cream shop. We went to like a physical therapy place, and we asked for sponsorship, and they didn't want to hear it really. And some people just send out emails and they get
the issue.
They get the
response with sponsorships is a lot of businesses don't see cheer as a sport.
Yeah,
they think that our girls are out here, just not that I have anything wrong with Sideline, because my child did Sideline as well, but they feel like it's, why are y'all fundraising for Sideline? So I think that showing them a video, or like having them come out and see, that's always a good idea, to have them come out and see, or maybe come to the showcase and see what these girls have done. Like, I get it all the time. Like, you had cheer again? I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
It's
here.
a commitment.
But I think having with sponsorships, because cheer has always been rah rah sis kumbah,
Yeah.
they don't see that our kids are not saying cheer. They're athletes.
Yeah.
They're athletes.
Yeah, I sent out a few emails today. I just, got on my email and looked up some local businesses and sent it to them. But I did send pictures of my kid, like, tumbling, like in the middle of her tumbling path. And hopefully that will help someone sponsor our children.
Yes.
Someone listening, the 2 people listening, if one of you could go ahead and just sponsor the children for the season, we would.
The 3 children that are parents are sitting in the car.
Right, which would.
Rosie has 2.
2, so that would be
4 kids.
4
athletes.
children, please. We need sponsor. Maybe just the 2 of you just need to do it. The 2 of you listening, just do it
2
and
apiece.
sponsor. DM me if you want to know how to sponsor our children. I'd be happy to guide you.
And we're more than welcome to split it.
Yes, we'll split the sponsorship. We're not greedy. We'll take it. You want $100? We'll split it between all of us. It's fine. So yeah, I think that's one of the things, the money aspect of it. And I just read recently, because I'm part of that Facebook Crazy Cheer Moms page. And I read recently that at least here in our gym, we get to we get one specific payment. And that includes your uniform, your practice wear, your comps. But some gyms don't do it like that. And I was astonished that some gyms have you pay monthly, and then everything else is extra, like an extra,
like choreography fee, music.
Yeah. What?
Practice uniform.
Where?
Shoes, yeah.
No way. Absolutely not. I'm out.
And really, you spend, like, their monthly bill is low, so their monthly bill is like $125. But then once you add up everything they're spending, because they have to pay coaches, they still have to pay coaches fees. They still have to pay their music. They still have to pay for their shoes. They still have to pay for their uniform. They still have to pay for practice. So when you're adding up, like ours, we see it. We see what our yearly is. When you add up all of that, I'm pretty sure their yearly is way over our yearly.
Probably, yeah.
Well, then it's not a surprise because you know how much you're paying each month versus, this month we have 3 competitions, so you have 3 fees. Next month you only have maybe 2, so you have less, and then you go to 4.
But that's why I think a lot of the gyms solidify their comp so early so that they can tell parents that they have to start paying these competition fees. Yeah. And I'm grateful that our gym does it the way they do because hotel, oh, you got to pay this competition fee. Hotel, oh, you got to pay this I feel like we would be like, wait, we all gonna stay in one place? Like, we all gonna rent a room and stay in one place?
Stay all together because, And I'm also, and I don't know if other gyms do this or other programs, you know, I guess they can't really, but I'm just grateful that we could stay wherever we could stay and we could afford for the comp. Yeah. So, yeah, that's, I mean, the financial expectations of this program, not the program, but just cheer in general, is a lot. And it goes for 11 months. This isn't just like, hey, we're traveling for 3 months and it's intense for 3 months. I mean, we're out here all the time. We were done last season in April and then we had evaluations in May. And so it gets to be a lot. And also with school cheer, I mean, gear for camps is expensive. Then camp fees, we have choreography fees with school cheer as well. It's not just about, especially for school programs that also do competitive. For example, my program is, we compete with FCC, we compete FHSAA because we're in Florida. For those of you listening, that one listener in Canada, we compete for UCA. So all of those come with choreography fees. Not all choreographers are made or have the same, specialties for all the different organizations. So it's important to think about that as well. So we think about it, like all those parents paying for double things like that, cheer, school cheer, and all-star cheer. It's a lot for sure. Another thing we wanted to talk about is things that surprise new parents. And I think one thing that surprises new parents sometimes is, over the summer you don't have that choreography, right? So you don't have that, oh, how did they hit the choreography and did they do this? And, how does it look now? And did we practice a dance today? It's a lot of just basic skills and doing the skills and basic stunts for that level and basic tumbling for that level. And then a lot of the conditioning. And I think sometimes when kiddos don't show up to practice over the summer, this is when you run into issues because then come choreography day, you're out of breath and you're not feeling well and you get nauseous and the endurance isn't there because we didn't attend over the summer. So I think that surprises a lot of parents, just the fact that we're just out here watching the same stunts, perfecting the things, and, we're not moving along. Obviously, once choreo comes along, then it's a little more exciting. But I think that gets a lot of new parents. What do you guys think?
Because I think it's boring.
Yeah.
Because it's just technique and skills. Yeah.
But as we know, as veteran parents, that this building in the summer is what sets you up for a successful season, for sure.
Right, because you need to have all these skills and learning the basics before you get to choreo.
100%.
And then implement the advanced skills.
Yeah.
So it's all about building.
But I think a lot of times they don't realize that these summer practices prepare them for the comps, really, because they're conditioning. They're working out. They're conditioning. That conditioning works in at 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because it teaches them how to control their breathing, teaches them how to control their breaths, teaches them how to count in their head, without having to think about it. Just do the stunt, do the jumps, tumble, without thinking about it. So I think like during the summer, it's more so of, the basic skills, and sometimes the athletes don't even realize that it's helping them in the long run. It's not repetitive. Like these summer workouts where they're holding planks for how long?
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
They're holding planks for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Or they're doing burpee back handsprings or 50 tucks or, running a mile. Like, that is all helping them. Some athletes during the summer aren't conditioning as hard as our girls. So, I mean, it helps in the long run. And I think that sometimes parents don't see the commitment of it in the summer, especially a newer parent when they're not used to all-star cheer and they don't know the commitment that goes into it. It's like, oh, well, it's not mandatory for us to be in the summer.
Right.
But it's not mandatory, but it's kind of like an unwritten rule.
Right. And if you don't recognize the importance of learning the basics and building from the basics, then you think it's okay to skip practices.
Yeah.
But then if you skip practices, then you're offended.
Right. Yeah. That's something that, as new parents, you gotta remember your kid misses practices, and then when they come back, and granted, we're not talking about it's an emergency and somebody's sick or somebody was hurt, but you miss practices, and then you come back and your child might not have the same spot. And I'm going to tell you right now that nobody feels bad.
No.
Nobody feels bad, because we're out here and we want the team to be successful. And if your child is a main whatever, to me, everybody's vital in the routine. Everybody's important. So if they come back and you were supposed to be tumbling in the front and now you're not, well, you missed too many practices. What are the coaches supposed to do? You're supposed to come to practice. You're supposed to stay committed. Another thing is, I think some parents struggle with this as well, is the fact that my child was doing this now and now they moved her to this. And that happens sometimes. And it happens, one, because somebody else's kid might have not shown up to practice. And now they got to put your kid in there. Or it's what's better for the team. And you just got to think about it like that. That's what it is. And we have a mom in front of us that is getting into her trunk and she's getting out safely. So that's the most important thing. But we were like, what is happening? Okay. So, back to what we were saying. It is important. Just continue to come to practice. But again, if you miss practices, then don't be offended when you come in and your child is moved.
Comes at a price.
It comes at a price to, attend all the things. And I mean, it happens, and it also happens when, the stunt group isn't working.
Right.
And it's not just one person. There might be multiple kiddos in the stunt group that, hey, they're just not clicking. It's just not hitting. I'd rather them move them around and figure it out and maybe, have my child tumble instead than to have the stunt fall in a comp.
Right.
So that's something I think that new parents might struggle with. So right now, we're going to go into the do's and don'ts as new parents. And I might have something here for some of the veterans. So do's is, like we were mentioning, prioritize attendance for sure. Another one is stay informed. So I'm sure all the gyms use different apps to communicate. I have something to say really loud about this. There usually is a team mom that, unfortunately, for the most part, is voluntold to be team mom. Or we as parents sit there and be like, you would be perfect as long as it's not me.
We nominate. Yep.
We nominate. And there's always one nice person to do it. Keep in contact with that person who's taking the lead for the team. I would say that one is, if they come up with ideas and you don't like it, you don't need to tell them every 5 minutes that you don't like it or post it that you don't like it. Like, at some point, you got to realize that this person is giving up their time to organize things. And
you didn't volunteer to do it.
And you didn't volunteer. So you
just be happy.
Be happy.
You just get to show up.
And that's it. Another thing that I struggled with in years past is when it's a bigger team and then there is an idea, and obviously everybody has a million ideas and they're all good ideas, but we don't need to hear all of them at the same time. We don't need it. We're good. Thank you so much. I get so lost. I literally would come to practice and be like, what happened today? I would get up, go see a patient, come back, 150 messages. What is happening? Where are you people? Is there a meeting that occurred that I wasn't a part of?
So group chat etiquette is very important.
Very, very important. Just maybe one or two things. Maybe wait a day or two and then say something else. Like I can't do the 50 million ideas at once. And then at the end, there's no idea. There's no idea at the end.
I have an idea. You're all going to be at the same place at the same time.
Figure it out then.
You could say it in person and have a real conversation.
Or if somebody has a question or somebody puts out a message like, hey, we're meeting here. Don't forget this. But do we need to wear this? Do we need to be there at this time? That sounds like a personal email. I don't want to hear about how your family can't go because so-and-so has another game and this one has to go be dropped off here. That sounds like an email you should send separately.
Yep.
We don't all have to be involved.
Right.
Thank you.
And you can take notes. You don't need to ask every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, what practice uniform do we wear on Tuesdays? Just write it down.
Write it down.
Put it in your calendar.
Or have
Answer
a mom
the question yourself.
Have a mom bestie. Have a mom bestie that you could, hey, did you hear this? I do that to Jamie and Trisha all the time.
Does.
I did. I just did it for stunt camp.
That's where your stupid questions go. Not in the group chat.
Not in the group chat, and definitely not to the coaches or the team or the gym director. They go to your mom bestie. Hey, I just did it to Jamie, didn't I?
Yes.
Hey, stunt camp on Sunday. We're at this time.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
My fault.
Because
Shout out to Buckley. Thanks, Buckley.
Because I wasn't sure, but those are the things, like, just communicate with each other instead of like throwing all the ideas out in the group chat. Like, please, budget early, and again, we're lucky enough to have the foundation that we have here at our gym, who helps us so much. But yeah, I try and budget early. Again, if anyone is willing to sponsor our children.
Please. In addition to sponsorships, we need hotel stays, we need food, all the things. When competition season starts.
Flight tickets.
Yep, travel starts, all the things.
And introduce yourself to others. I have to say, cheer moms aren't easy. When I first started here at this gym, and I feel like it goes for any gym, you gotta read the room. You gotta know the vibe. I would be very quiet, I feel, at the beginning. I probably didn't start hanging out and staying at team dinners and all of that. I was probably 1.5 years, 2 years in before I did anything like that. And yeah, so we've been here a while, but it takes time. It takes time for people to get to know you. It's just like starting a new job. You got to read the room. You got to get to know the personalities. And sometimes you got to fall back. You got to fall back. Sometimes with some things.
And it's okay to observe. You don't always have to be in the mix.
Or have a comment.
Yeah.
And don't be the parent that always complains.
Please. Don't. Things aren't going to always work around your schedule. Things aren't going to be perfectly around what's going on with your family. You just got to work it out. It is what it is. It's difficult, we know, because there's things right now coming up in this season that do not work out for me. Like, right. But it is what it is. I got to work through it. Trust the process. Here we are, 3 of us in this car. Our kiddos are on the same team, and it could be one of us that might not end up on this team going forward. So it is a reality of it. I know that it happens all the time. So just trust the process. I know that, if my child was to be moved, there's a reason for that. It would be heartbreaking, but there's a reason for it. So it does happen. And then off that subject and onto something lighter, book your hotels early for comps.
Oh, yes.
So as soon as you get the comp schedule, and we get ours like definitely in August, early August. So what I do, because, I need sponsorships. So what I do is when I book my hotels, I book now, pay later. And unless it's like a specific comp that's giving us like a really good deal on their hotel. But I book my hotels now and I pay later. And that always gives me the opportunity to cancel or switch it up if I need to. So shout out to Expedia for having that.
Shout out to my mom who still pays my annual AAA membership at the ripe old age of me being 40.
Same with my dad, but I don't use it for travel.
What? You get a discount on hotels, Jamie.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yes.
But can you pay later with AAA?
I think
Can
so.
you book now?
We'll talk
Trip later. This is an email. This should have
Right.
been an email.
This is not for the podcast.
So some don'ts. Wait, before we go into the don'ts, do you guys have any do's that you want to talk to new parents about?
Don't isolate yourself.
That's a don't, Jamie.
I know
It's
I
a
don't
don't.
have any dues.
Do be flexible,
Yes.
Do realize.
but do be committed.
Never mind.
Do realize you need to be committed.
Yeah.
All right, so some don'ts that I have is don't coach or compare your child. We're not all in the same situation. We're not all in the same skill level. Like, it is what it is. Even some people who are on the same team might not be on the same skill level. So I know I am not a good advocate of any of these don'ts. Like, I compare my child and I coach them. Don't panic if your athlete struggles at first. So, sorry, my child just got out of the car to go to practice. So, if your athlete struggles at first with choreo, or their stunt isn't hitting, please don't freak out about it. It's gonna work out, and if not, they'll get changed. Where everything will be fine. Don't stand there and yell at the bassist that they shouldn't drop your flyer.
Are you speaking from personal experience?
Nobody's ever yelled at my child specifically for dropping someone, but I've seen it happen. Yeah. And as a base mom, nothing bothers me more. Like, nobody comes to practice like, God, I hope I drop my flyer the whole time. That's so much fun. Nobody does that, obviously. So these kids are struggling. They're trying to learn. They're trying to do things. And the last thing they need is some parent standing there. Don't drop my kid. We know, bro. Thanks. King and Queen obvious. We got it. Don't miss out on choreo week. Obviously, if you do, you're off the team. So advice. Don't miss out on that. Don't underestimate the commitment time, like we mentioned. And don't stir drama. Don't stir the drama.
Don't do it.
Listen, nobody means to not hit the stunt. These kids, most of the time, get in the car. At least, I mean, I know I speak for both of y'all when I say that when my kid doesn't hit a stunt consistently, like something's wrong, they're off that day, it is immediate tears, immediate frustration, immediate, what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? And sometimes they don't communicate it like we would, right? They're still trying to process. I've had to tell my child, like, go up to your coach, ask, what am I doing? Like, I'm not, like, the flyer doesn't seem to like me, because they think, immediately kids think they don't like me.
I think with our kids, Rosie, our kids are perfectionists.
Yeah.
And they realize that they're relied on a lot, especially Amaya. Like, people don't realize that she's a backsplat, but people rely on her a lot. And when she messes up, she feels like she disappoints people. Mm-hmm. And she's not an emotional person, so when she gets in the car quiet, I know it wasn't a good practice. And so for me, it's like, always encourage a kid. I don't care if it's a good practice, a bad practice. Encourage your child, because they need that.
So I have a don't.
Yeah.
And then I thought of a do. Don't gossip about other people's kids.
100.
Or say things about other people's kids that you would not want them to say about your own.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't condone really gossiping about other parents either, but definitely not about children. Like, did you see what so-and-so did? Her tuck is terrible. Who's going to tell her that she needs to keep her feet together? Not you, ma'am. Go sit down. Not your kid, not your business. Those are inside thoughts.
Yes. That you keep to yourself.
Yeah. And then a do. Are we ready for do's or no? We're going back.
We did the do's. You do your do.
Okay. So a do would be a safe place for your kid.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So let them vent without critiquing and coaching. But also something that I teach my kid is you save that for the car. Mm-hmm. If you need to vent, you don't talk about it in the parking lot. You wait until the doors are closed and then you can say what you need to say. But be the safe place without critiquing right away. You know, like, oh, my stunt always fell. My stunt kept falling. Okay, well, give it a minute and then be like, well, what could you have done differently? Instead of just right from the get-go, you did it wrong. What do you need to do? What did you do mess up? This is your fault. Give them some time, especially with this age group. Emotions are high. Mm-hmm. Processing time is low.
I also think as parents, you're standing there sometimes and you're just talking to your friend and venting, because we do that as parents, and you say something and another parent heard you, and now it's blown out of proportion, or maybe it's not. And so that's why you have to be just a little, be careful. I always tell my child, and I think it's taken, not for my youngest, because she'll tell you what is on her mind. She has no problem. But with my oldest, it's taken some time for her to realize, like, it's okay to go up to your coach and communicate. Even when you did something wrong and you're not, like you mentioned before, you're still being coachable, but that correction's not coming as easily to you. It's okay to say, hey, what do I do? Mm-hmm. Hey, me and my flyer and maybe my whole stunt group, we're not connecting. Right. What can we do extra? The stunt privates help. Sometimes as a stunt group, they might have a little bonding time together. That's always helpful. But yeah, just be careful the things that you say, because at least, I don't know, I've seen people yell, like, don't drop my kid. I don't know. It just drives me crazy. Like, who wants to drop your kid? Nobody. And I get it too as a flyer. The flyer parents, don't come for me. Don't cancel me just yet with my 2 listeners. I get it. Like, it's hard to see your kid being dropped constantly. Like, I've had friends, who go through that. Like, my kid has been dropped all season long, and that's also difficult because, then you worry about them getting hurt and losing their confidence as a flyer. It's not, you got to trust the girls that are basing you, and that comes with time and effort on everyone's parts. Mm-hmm. Any other do's or don'ts? Anything for the veteran parents? Mm-hmm. I would say don't bring whatever happened last year. Don't bring it. Don't bring it this year. It's a new year. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Well, something that you could remember as a veteran parent is how you felt your first year.
Yeah.
So giving advice when asked. They didn't ask. They don't want it.
Y'all didn't see it, but Trisha put up her finger. When asked, her pointer finger. Let's clarify. When asked. Yeah. And you'll find your people if you're new at the gym. You will find your people. And then they become family. Even when we're not at the gym, we're checking up on each other. Like, we're out here all the time. And Jamie won't leave her phone alone, and that's why you heard that. Her aunt keeps... Shout out to Jamie's aunt. Who keeps aunties. Who keep interrupting the podcast. Anything else, ladies, that we want to mention to new parents?
I think we covered most of it.
Yeah. Oh, another thing... I know I was guilty of when I was a new parent, mostly because shout out to my husband Phil, who will be editing this podcast. Like, he just wasn't in a hurry. Like, oh yeah, he's Jamaican, so island time all the time. Homeboy, it's fine. I remember in Daytona, I think it was our first year. Mia was on snipers, and I'm like, we have to be there in 5 minutes, and we were just getting in the car. And the gym, now she's a gym manager, but at that time she was her coach. And she called me, and I made him answer.
There you
because
go. It was his fault.
Yeah, you were late. Don't be late. Don't be late because everybody...
A meet time is a meet time. A meet with coaches time is a meet with coaches time.
Yeah. So look at that. That's another thing I'm going to... Yes, that's... Thank you for saying that. So when you get the schedule for comps, break that down. Take a moment after everyone went to bed as a parent, as a cheer mom.
Make your plan.
Make your plan. Take a moment and look at that. There's a meet time, like a time to arrive at the venue and a time to meet the coaches. Those are two different times. So keep an eye on that because that's important. And again, you have that cheer bestie. If you're running late and your cheer bestie is at the venue, that's the one who's coming out to the car to grab your kid to run them inside.
Yes.
That's the person you got to depend on. So again, that's why we become family, because things happen. Maybe you didn't get the best night's sleep. Maybe somebody was sick or whatever the case. But keep the cheer besties. They're gonna be your saviors for a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, and when you said go slow,
yeah,
I guess I was thinking slow in your own lane. And not comparing. But I think a lot of times people get caught up in, oh, my kid needs to progress. My kid needs to progress.
Yeah.
And I always say, for me, what I thought is a minimum of 2 years in each level. Because then you start out as a newbie and then you end solid.
Yeah.
You know, there's no race to the finish line.
No,
and
because
I tell my daughter that because I feel like she's racing. I'm like, where are you going to go?
Yeah, where are you going?
Where are you going? Who wants to be on a level 4 for 5 years? Who wants to be on a level 5 for 5 years? You know, at least our gym doesn't have anything higher than that. So what's the point of getting there fast when you're just stay there for forever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's difficult, mostly because, kids are putting in the work and they want to progress and they want to move forward. But you're right. And also, it's not always about skill level and, in cheer. It's hard as a 4th grader to be on a junior team with 16-year-olds.
Mm-hmm. Peyton on Snipers.
Yeah, and Mia on Snipers that year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. The conversations during water break are very different. And
it's not their multiplication tables.
No. Mm-mm. And it's not about watching cartoons. It is about grown-up stuff. And your kid gets in the car and tells you what they were talking about, and you got to prepare them for that.
Mommy, what does this mean?
Yeah. Why are they talking about this, Mom?
But I think that's from the older girls, because I know, shout out to Med Crim, Maya has corrected Riley a few times. Like, don't you say that. Like, yeah. Don't repeat that. Like, don't say anything. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes they don't know what it means. And so Maya has, become like a big sister. So she heard Riley say something, and she's like, don't you say that again.
What's said at practice stays at practice.
Yeah. And that's something that I feel like as the older girls, right? They know. Mm-hmm. And that even though they say it, but they don't let the littles say it, even if they're on the same team. Yeah, even if they're on the same team. And I think that just happened because most of the time the flyers are the younger ones. And one of the flyers was like, this and this was said. And my daughter was like, and we don't repeat it. Mm-hmm. That's what was said at practice. And we were just all talking and we're not going to continue talking about it. And she was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, and that's one of the things you got to keep in mind. Like, yeah, I want my child to level up and I want her to do all these things, but we also got to think about maturity levels as well.
Right. And mastery is important.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's a lot. And then, yeah, why hurry up? Just enjoy where you are. And another thing I'm going to say, I've had years where the team starts out really rough and they end up being very amazing. Strong, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so
they actually work out to be the best years on the parent side too.
Yeah.
The athlete side and the parent side.
Yeah. Those teams that sometimes start off and you're like, oh gosh, this is going to be a year of just developing as leaders.
Yeah. Learning how it feels to lose.
But then they surprise you and shout out to the coaches because it's hard to coach teams like that. But at the end, I feel like those are the most rewarding for sure.
Yeah.
All right, any other do's and don'ts for the podcast today? It's still raining out here. Happy July 4th, y'all.
Yep. Happy 4th.
If y'all don't have any plans, I have a friend, Perlessa. She's throwing a July 4th party, not on the 4th. But you could send me a message that you're sponsoring my child.
And then you get an invitation.
you get an invitation to Perlessa's July 4th party. Shout out to Perlessa. Don't worry, Perlessa. There's only 2 people listening. They're fine if they come and join us. Anything else you guys want to talk about for the new parents? Welcome
and good luck.
Welcome.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Have a great season.
Welcome to the sport in general. If you're brand new to the sport, if not, welcome to the family. Whatever cheer gym you're at, everybody's family for sure. All right, that's it. Is that it for the podcast?
That's it.
That's it. Hopefully it won't take me another 15 months to do another podcast.
Oh no, we got this.
I'll try not to, you guys. Life gets in the way. What is happening?
It's crazy.
Cheer's busy.
Cheer's busy. I can't keep up. Mm-mm. But that's it. That's our episode. So don't forget, because my husband will not be happy if I forget to tell you to make sure that you like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe and sponsor.
Yes.
That is the goal. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll catch you guys on the sidelines. Bye.